Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Like always, thank you so much for tuning in again. So I asked a lot of you in my November favorites if you wanted to see my favorite Morphe brushes, and a lot of you said yes, so I'm gonna be filming my favorite Morphe brushes. In front of me I have, I believe, 13 or 14 brushes. I know that's a lot of brushes, but honestly I think these are the best brushes Morphe has in my personal opinion. Remember that these brushes might not be your favorites, but they are my favorites, and I do want to share my personal favorites, and if you don't like them, that's completely fine. And if you do, or you haven't really tried out Morphe, I think these are going to be great brushes for you to try out. And I think all of the brushes I'm going to be talking about are the Elite 2 brushes. So they had an Elite line, and then they kind of took those down, and then they brought the Elite 2 brushes, and they look like these. So these are the brushes, and then they have like the brown top, and they're really good quality brushes. I was very surprised with the brushes. I've had these for about, I want to say maybe 8 months, and honestly none of them has shed on me. I've washed them a couple of times and they're really good. And I have 2 brushes from the Rose Gold line, which I really like, and they're just so aesthetically pleasing. But not only that, they're really good brushes. So I have 2 of those that I want to talk about, and I have some of the gunmetal brushes that I want to talk to you about. The ones that I have, I got them on Black Friday, so these are limited edition, and these are the Gilded collection. I will be posting all the brushes I talk about in the description box down below, as well as direct links, and I'll also be talking about the prices as we go through the brushes. So now that I've dragged on this intro, let's start off with face brushes, because that's kind of what I do first in my routine. So I'm going to be talking about my favorite face brushes. So the first brush I have in front of me is this big old brush right here, and this is the Morphe E1 brush. I'm sorry if I look down a lot, but I have some notes right here. And then this is described as the Deluxe powder brush, and this retails for $22.99. I know that's kind of hefty, but the brush is so big and it's so densely packed, and I really like that for applying powders. It does a really great job at just distributing it evenly, and I think this is really good. I set my face with this, and it's so quick and effortlessly, and it looks airbrushed. I really enjoy this brush. I think this is definitely one of the ones that you should try out if you want to try out these brushes. The next one I have here is my Morphe R7 brush, and then this is described as a pointed powder, and it's $15.99, and this is one of the rose gold ones, and I use this for bronzer. It fits perfectly in the hollows of my cheeks, and this is almost everybody's cult favorite bronzer brush, and honestly, I don't know what's going on down there. This is honestly a good brush for bronzer. It's not too big, it's not too fluffy. You have enough control on the brush to get right into the hollows of the cheeks. I really like that. I know that the original one isn't in the rose gold line, but you know, it's so pretty. I just had to have this one. But definitely check this out. I think that for the price, it's really good. Like I said, these brushes haven't shed on me, and I'm very impressed with that. I don't really like that the bristles are white. That's not my favorite thing. That's just a personal preference because I'm crazy like that, but I just feel like they get stained and dirty. But nonetheless, it's a really good brush. The next one I have in front of me is my Morphe E52 brush, and this is described as a tapered brush, and this is $19.99, and this is another one that I absolutely adore for bronzer. This is for a more, I don't want to say like packed on look, but it definitely picks up more product and it buffs it out really nicely. I use this one a little bit more than I use this one, just because this one's a little bit more loose, so it gives you like a lighter bronze, but this one, it densely packs it on, and it's so stunning. I love this one. It's beautiful, and it just, again, fits perfectly into the hollows of the cheek, on top of the forehead. I love this one. This is definitely one, if I were to pick between this one and the other one, I would definitely pick this one. I just love this one a little bit more. The next one I have here is the Morphe E3 brush, and this is described as a precision, I cannot say that word, guys, forgive me, pointed powder, and I adore this for blush. This is the only one that I use for blush because it just gets right in there and it just blends out the blush perfectly. And I like that it tapers at the top, so you could just dip your brush, and sometimes, you know, blush pans are a little bit smaller, so I think that this is perfect, and you kind of just buff away. I love this for blush. I think it's a great brush, and again, it's in the Elite 2 line, and I really think that they're a little bit pricier than all the other Morphe brushes, all the other lines, but honestly, they're worth it. So again, this is the E3, and this is my blush brush. The next brush I have here is the Morphe E50. And this brush is described as a tapered highlight brush, but I do not use it as a highlighting brush. I actually use this to set my under eyes. So after I apply my concealer, I will grab this brush, I will put it in my powder, and I will apply my powder because I personally don't bake because I have dry under eyes. So if I do that, it kind of looks a little creasy and it's not a good look for me. So I use this to kind of just sweep on the powder and just set everything in place, and this is just so perfect because it gets right in there and you can get really close to your lash line, and I just think this is a really good brush. I recommend this one if you don't really like to bake and kind of just like to set everything. I highly recommend this one. The next one that I have here is the Morphe E16 brush, and this looks like this, and this is the Pro Angled Contour, and it's $6.99, and I mean, it's basically that. You contour with this. I don't really contour. I kind of just bronze with the bigger brushes that I showed you guys. But for this, I do kind of like cleaning up the bottom of my contour when I'm doing a more dramatic look. So I will grab this and I will dip it into my powder, and I will kind of just set it along the bottom part of my contour, and I will just sharpen it out, clean it up, make sure it looks nice and crisp. And this is a great brush because it's pretty dense, but it's pretty thin compared to these other ones that I have. They're a little bit thicker, so you're gonna get kind of like a wider contour. This one is very thin, and I really like that. It's kind of unique to me, and the shape is angled, so you kind of just get right in there and it just tapers out to the tip, and I really like this brush for that. I don't really like it for applying the powder just because it is super thin. I rather get one of these big guys, but overall I really like that for the days where I'm feeling a little extra. And the last face brush that I have in front of me is the Morphe 436 brush. And then this is described as a mini duo blender, and it's $6.99, and the reason that I got this one, I don't really like the dual fiber synthetic kind of thing because I personally don't use brushes for my foundation. I'm going to show you what I do use for my foundation in a second, but I do really like ColourPop highlighters, and sometimes I don't like using my finger because I feel like it looks a little streaky. So I did get this bad boy, and this I just go straight into my little highlighter, and I apply this right at the tops of my cheeks, and it blends it out so nicely, and it doesn't leave it super intense like my finger does. It kind of just gives a really nice pretty glow. So I really like that, and it's small enough to where I can use it like right there where I need to apply my highlight, and it's perfect. I really like this one. It's really small. I like the size, and there's not much more I could say about that. I just really like that brush. And now, before I move on to the eyes, I do want to show you what I use for foundation because I personally don't use brushes for my foundation. So what I do use is, I'm going to grab the dirty one because, just kidding guys, I have it right here. I have this. This is the Flawless Beauty Sponge, and this is by Morphe, and it's $6.99, and this is what I use on the days where I don't grab my beauty blender. This is what I've been using, and I included it in my November favorites because I've literally been using this all month. Like, I'm not even lying guys. I have the little dirty one right here that I've been using, and this is a brand new one. And they're so good. This sponge does not absorb all your makeup. It leaves it so airbrushed and fresh and pretty. It leaves your face looking very flawless. I mean, it's in the name, and it's very true. I don't experience bleeding when I wash this. I do wash mine with cold water, but I've heard that if you run it under hot water, it does bleed. I don't know. I don't do that to my sponges, but I guess people have their opinions on this. I personally love it. I have tried the black one. I don't like that one at all, but this one is really good. I won't lie to you guys and say I use foundation brushes because I don't, honestly. It's just not my personal thing. on my clients. Since I am a makeup artist, I do it on my clients, but honestly not on myself, because I like the effect that this gives. So I kind of blend out my concealer and my foundation, and for $6.99 I think this is an amazing dupe for the Beauty Blender. So definitely try this out. I think you guys might really enjoy this. So now let's move on to the eyes. I have a couple of eye brushes, and let's start in the order. So the first one I have is R39. And this is it. It's part of the Rose Gold edition. And then this is described as a tapered blender. And I don't really use this as a blending brush. I actually use this as a packing brush. So I'll grab any shimmer shade, because I feel like this one picks up shimmer shades so beautifully. So I'll just pat on the shimmer shade that I'm using on the lid that day, and it just does an amazing job. And it's nice and small, so I have really good control of the shade that I'm applying, and I actually really love that. And it retails for $5.99. The next one I have is the E27 brush. This is the E27 brush, and this is part of the Elite 2 line, and this is $6.99, and it's described as the Pro Rounded Blender. And this one is a little bit of a bigger blending brush, but I kind of like that because I do have bigger eyes, and it gets right in the crease. My husband's over here laughing at me, guys. Anyways, I do like this one because it gets right in the crease, and I kind of can put my transition shade, but it's not super fluffy to where it kind of like goes everywhere on the eye, but it's I don't know, it's the perfect amount for a crease brush, and I really like that. And this retails for $6.99. The next one I have is the E22 brush, and then this is described as a pointed blender, and it's $6.99. And what I love about this one is it is exactly that. It's very pointed and small. This one is perfect for outer V's. I use this on the outer V all the time, and when I'm dragging in the color from the outer V into the crease, and I absolutely love it. It's very densely packed, so you get a lot of color payoff with this brush, and it just fits perfectly right at the edge of your outer V. And it's beautiful. Like, you can blend it out, and it just does an amazing job. I highly recommend this one for the outer V. The next one I have here is the Morphe E28. And this is what it looks like, and this is described as a rounded blender, and this is $6.99. And again, I like using this for the crease because it's smaller than the first one that I showed you, but it does such a great job at blending everything in the crease. So if I'm blending out my outer V into the crease, it does an amazing job. I actually really enjoy this brush. I think it's very precise for crease work, but it's also not super small, which I can really appreciate. The next one I have here is the biggest blending brush that I have from the collection, and this is the E23 brush. And this is $6.99 as well, and it's the deluxe blender. So this is the biggest one that they have, and I like kind of like setting my primer and putting my transition shade kind of like very messy in the crease with this brush, since it is pretty big. So it kind of just gets right in there, and it's just quick and easy. It's kind of effortlessly, and I really like that. It blends out effortlessly. And I really enjoy this. I think it's perfect size. If you have smaller eyes, I don't think this one might work for you. I think you should get the other ones that I showed you, because it is bigger, so it does take up a lot of space for even the crease work. It kind of, you know, it kind of puts the powder and the eyeshadow everywhere, but I kind of like that because it just fits really nicely in my eye, and I highly recommend this one as well. I keep saying that, but these brushes are so good. Try the Elite 2 line. If you have, let me know. Like, I'm not crazy, right? It's a really good line. Anyways, I have two more brushes. The first one I have here is the Morphe E36, and this is what it looks like. It's teeny tiny, and then this is a detailed crease, and it's $4.99. I don't really use this in my crease to do cut crease and all of that. I don't use that. I actually use this to smoke out my bottom lashes. It's the perfect size to get right in there, right really close into the bottom lash line. And what I like about this, it's not flat, so it does a really nice job at blending it out as well, so you don't have any harsh lines. I love this for that. I think it's so perfect, and the size is so small. I do have another one of these, and I use that one only for inner corner highlight. So I do like this. I think it's a multi-purpose brush. I really enjoy it. And you could actually do crease work with it. Like, if you have smaller eyes, this is going to be a really nice brush for you. So I like that you can do a lot of things with this brush, but I personally use it for the bottom lash line. And last but not least, I have the E43 brush. And this is a flat brow brush, and it's $4.99, and this is it kind of just is that. I clean up my I can't speak. I clean up my brows with this. So after I'm done filling in my brows, I'll go in with this brush with some concealer and I'll just carve out my brows. And I like that it's flat and small, so it gets right on the edge of the brows. And I really do enjoy this brush. There's nothing more I can say about that. But those were all of the brushes that I enjoy. I hope you find this helpful. I hope I did a good job explaining. It's the first time I kind of do this, and I do play with these brushes a lot. Like, I've had these brushes for quite a while now, and I've had other Morphe brushes that honestly don't really work out for me because they end up shedding, or I don't know, they're kind of scratchy, and I really don't like that. So I really like this Elite 2 line because although it is a little bit more pricey for Morphe, they're so good. They're so soft. They're fluffy. They don't hurt me in any way. They apply makeup beautifully because some brushes I do find leave everything patchy. But I really do like these brushes. I think they're very, very good quality. Like I said before, they're a little bit pricier, but honestly, worth it. Because they are from the $4.99 range all the way to $22, I believe. $23 is the more expensive. But I think they're really, really good. I think they get the job done. I use these on myself and on my clients, so I can really vouch for these because I've washed them so many times and they still haven't shed. They are pretty beat up because I've had them for a while, but my gosh, they're so good. The sponge is honestly a really good dupe for the Beauty Blender. I highly suggest you guys check this out. And there are a ton of coupon codes out there for Morphe. Most of them are affiliate links, so if you don't feel comfortable using those, remember, if you use those, you are kind of putting money into the beauty guru's pocket. So, you know, be wary about it. Just make sure, I don't know what's happening with my dogs, guys. I'm so sorry. But yeah, definitely use one of the coupon codes, save yourself some money. I really hope you like this video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions, comment, concerns, any questions on the brushes, let me know in the comment section down below. And I will be linking all of the prices and where to get them in the description box. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all again very soon. Bye!